Hello, Blood Bowl coaches. I am here. I'm either Mike. I'm joined by my regular co-host Ledeas,
Greetings, fellow humans.
and joined once again by two guest hosts, Hervis Jasper and JamesTyphoon. How's it going, guys?
It's going
Same,
okay.
same old, same old.
Cool. So we are here to do a sort of a season wrap-up. We're gonna recap weeks 12 and 13 and take a look at who has made it into the playoffs. But before we do that, let us take a brief moment just to remember and those who have given their all on the Blood Bowl pitch in Week 12. And we're back. So yeah, I got a little bit of extra footage around that brave elf thrower making that potato play for the miracle touchdown, turn 15-16, who just got murdered.
Hey, he's on a new team now.
Yeah.
He's already been recruited.
Yeah. Now all the bravery's been rewarded. Now he's got a spot as a zombie.
Eternal life. That's a pretty good reward.
Yep. But yeah, so let's jump into Div 4. So Div 4 was fairly competitive for the second place spot, but we pretty much knew Black and White had it tied up. Gloom and Zoom has made the second playoff spot. Let's take a look at what happened in the last 2 weeks, though. So my call out for sort of the wild card, maybe miracle play, was 90s cartoons to get into it, maybe, and did actually win the last 4 weeks, but needed an upset higher up on the table in order to actually make it in. So just short, but they're gonna have a hell of a season next season. Let's take a quick look at how they ended up.
9-1-3.
Yeah,
It's a pretty solid record.
solid record, and dear lord, they have just filled out the guard on this team to the
It's
extreme.
dwarves. Isn't
Yeah.
that what they do?
Yeah,
That's
but
all
there's
they do.
6 of them now. Haven't gotten rid of that armor busted blitzer yet. Maybe they were just waiting until the end of the season. So, what do they cost to start with? 80. So he's just short.
Well,
to
I
be
mean,
able
it's
to replace
still
it.
armor 8.
Yeah, but like the whole strengths of the dwarf team is just being armor 9 across the board, and with the 6 skull, it's on, and plus on one of your only, one of only 4 agility 3 pieces that you actually have. I'd replace him. It's not like he's rolled doubles or has gotten a stat up or anything.
Maybe he's just really into Courage the Cowardly Dog.
Yeah.
I wouldn't fire him. I'd keep him for as long as I could. I'm in the camp that armor 8 is, even with dwarves, it's nothing to worry about unless somebody with claw walks up and starts shredding. So,
And people with claw, you can't stop it anyway, so...
yeah, the 8 is moderately difficult to break, so there's no worry there.
Well, let's say the difference between armor 9 without assuming there's no claw or mighty blow is about 1 and 6. It's 6 and 36 to break, and then on armor 8, it's 10 and 30. So actually, it's 2/3 more likely to break armor than an armor 9. So I mean, it is a for one of your only 4 agility 3 pieces on the team. I don't know. I'll always replace like an armor busted Saurus, for example, if I can afford it.
The other thing there is sorry.
Go ahead.
The only thing there as well is the one of the strengths of dwarves is to have more people. The fewer dwarves you have, the weaker.
Yeah, so if he fired him, he'd be missing the dwarf and he couldn't replace him.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't fire him until I could replace him. But
I'm just saying, he's got 2 runners. One with Blodge, the other one is a kickoff fending block guy, so he's probably utility of just picking up the ball.
Yeah.
He's probably not picking the ball up with courage.
No, but it's someone who he can hand the ball off to and then run, or in a pinch throw to pass to. Like there's 4 pieces who can handle. It's it's a bit like sort of playing a Lizard Man team where you just got the 4 skinks who can handle the ball. These are the guys who can handle the ball, and the fact that they're armor 9, 2 of them are armor 9, is what sort of helps a lot.
Looking over his history, he's only had 1 game that scored 3. So I still think, I don't know, he's just doing dwarf things. 8, 9, mighty blow. It's even going to be harder if he levels him up.
Yeah, I'm just saying, part of the value, part of what you're paying for with that Blitzer is having armor 9. It's a decent enough stat buff that I'd be trying to replace him, especially now that the season's over. I can understand like waiting through the end of the season. You want to you don't want to lose that mighty blow in that guard, and it's not such a bad bust, but it's a bust. You're paying for having an armor 9 player in terms of TV. It's a player who's a little more likely, 2/3 more likely to break armor when you hit him. You might as well replace him. They're not going to be that hard to level him up.
Well, that's 2/3 more likely compared to the rest of the dwarves. That's not 2/3 compared to the rest of Blood Bowl as a game. I mean,
2/3 more likely than how he started, or if you replaced him.
Right. I don't know. Mighty Blow, Guard. I know they're not hard level ups, but it's hard to level up blitzers when your runners are ball hogs.
So
Well,
you can feed them touchdowns.
Yeah, I mean they're they're one of the agility 3 players, so they're it's not like Troll Slayer or something, or even a Longbeard where they're not going to get touchdowns. The blitzers can get touchdowns.
Speaking of Troll Slayers, his are pretty brutal looking.
Yeah. So do anyone know, is he playing in the off-season tourney?
I do not think I saw him, but do not quote me on that.
Okay. So
yeah,
we'll see.
I don't know. I haven't paid attention to the postseason. I know my team isn't going to do it.
Cool. So let's
I myself am in it as well.
Cool.
Let's see. I'm gonna check Reddit and see if I can find that real quick while you're looking at something else.
Oh,
Cool. Let's just look at the 2 teams that are going on to the playoffs. We got Gloom and Zoom. Start there. So Gloom and Zoom, I'm not sure if had this the last time we looked. Probably did, but yeah, picked up Mighty Blow on that Strength 4 werewolf. Of course, they had started the season with 2 strength 4 werewolves, one with Mighty Blow, and the other Mighty Blow strength 4 was fouled to death fairly early in the season. Well, fouled to a Strix bust and then fired, technically. But, so yeah, now we've got it back. He's got Mighty Blow strength 4 back on his werewolf, which is gross. And
so, just to go back on what we were saying before, he is in the postseason,
postseason tourney.
Yep.
and he's gotten a bye.
Huh. How are the buys handled there? Is that also by placement during the season, or is it just random?
It's by placement by the looks of it. Like each area seems to have like a seed. He was seeded as number 3, so I assume that's how he did during the season. But you'd have to ask Ninja Pirate about that.
I think what they did was they took all the people who signed up and went by their records, and his record was so high that he seeded 3rd.
That makes sense. So yeah, Gloom and Zoom looking terrifying as ever. Last couple of matches. See, there could have been. I think this is the thing that would have been an upset. That was like would have been a tough match to watch. And I'm sorry I missed it. Oh, it didn't happen. 10 Thieves Titan versus Gloom and Zoom.
Computers.
Oh right. Crap. Raven Poe's been having no internet. I think he was moving or something.
Yeah, something like that.
So yeah, he's been out of the internet and he's going crazy.
Yeah, that's a bummer. Cause yeah, that could have been an upset for this. It might have meant a different result for. I think it could have meant a tie between Gloom and Zoom and 90s Cartoons actually, because they are exactly 3 points away on the leaderboard. I think.
It probably would have came down
one
to
win.
which
Yeah,
one
so
of them beat the other.
Yeah, so if 10 Thieves Titans had won that, it would have been a tie for 2nd place, which would have been interesting. But what's not to be, so Gloom and Zoom is going in. They are, let me take a look at the bracket. They are going to be playing whoever finishes 3rd in G-Man Division 1. Division 1 for G-Man. I'm clicking through the Herringzord's spreadsheet here. These are all qualified, or they're all figured out. The tiebreak.
Are you talking about the playoffs now?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
So in the playoffs, what did I say? G-Man won 3rd place. So whoever loses the tiebreaker between the Sage and Gerber. So maybe Orc will work, or Slanesh Slaughterers, Orc or Chaos Team. That's going to be a rough match in either case.
I read where Sage said, listen, if the difference is seeding, just flip a coin.
Yeah, I mean that's what I was actually tied for 2nd versus 3rd in Div 1. And I was like, yeah, I don't know if this is worth it. And then I looked at how the it looked like 2nd place for Div 1 is gonna have a much easier time than 3rd place. So I was like, let's play this out. Because
how did you tie? I mean, they put you in at 3rd, right?
No. Well, we don't go by the if it tied in points. Cyanide's tiebreaker is head-to-head, but that's not what's in the ReBBL rules doc. It says that if it's a 2-person tie, you need to play a friendly tiebreaker match in order to break the tie.
I think you should have won the tie because you beat Yeti to party.
No, I lost to him in the season.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Then he should have won.
Right, but that's how Cyanide ranks it. But in the rules doc, which we all actually none of us realized until the week before, 2 weeks ago. But the rules doc that's been posted on the Reddit since the beginning of the season has said that in its place of a 2-person tie, a friendly match has to be played.
Okay.
So that's what we did, and I ended up in 2nd, thankfully. Which I was gonna be like, it's just for placement. Who cares? It's not a bye week. But then I looked at what the competition was gonna be and was like, maybe I should play this out. so yeah. And actually, it may end up if Gloom and Zoom wins their first and second matches in the bringing it back to D4 with Gloom and Zoom. I'm in the same sort of quarter of the bracket, so if Sulaco and Gloom and Zoom both win rounds 1 and 2, we will be facing off against each other for the semifinals.
How do you think that would turn out?
It depends on the shape that both of our teams are in at that point, because I'm still not sure who I'm up against, and I don't know who Gloom and Zoom is up against, and it also depends on who both of us are up against in week 2. So, yeah, I don't know. The Gloom and Zoom currently only has 1 tackle piece, and half my sources have blodge, so that could help quite a bit. But this is still a scary-looking team, and the Claw Mighty Blow is certainly
that blodge, that stand firm dodge block piece. I just woke up, but yeah, that 1 stand firm golem is going to be a nightmare. I've got one on one of my teams, and it's just terrible. If that piece actually ends up getting diving tackle, it'll be one of the biggest threats out there.
Yeah, I had a black orc like that at one point that was blodge, stand firm, guard, diving tackle. That was obnoxious to say the least. But I don't know. Against lizardmen, it's not the worst thing in the world. A strength 4 roadblock is plenty of strength on the lizardmen. I do also only have 1 tackle piece though, so depending on how development goes and what the bracket ends up looking like, I may have to pick up some more tackle. But it is what it is.
Well, the Rebel League does have a tendency for rookie coaches to come out of nowhere and win Super Bowls.
Yeah. Well, I'd hardly call Sage a rookie coach, but
his team was rookie.
His team was rookie, and he was new to the league. But yeah, so that's Gloom and Zoom. Yeah, they're going to be playing either Sage or Gerber, either Chaos or Orcs. So that'll be a fun match to watch. However it goes, it'll be it's not going to be easy for Fiction, but he's got a well-developed team, and he's proved himself a good coach. So we'll see how it goes. Let's actually. Should I move to the clip that I got? Because actually, we had a clip. Fiction actually called out in a tip his Week 13 match against Rattown Wranglers, and so I watched through it and made a little clip. Got a couple of turns from the first half, and then a highlight, sort of montage of what happens in the second half. If you guys want to join me on that.
Alrighty. I
am going to leave the mics on. Let's see, turn the desktop. Oh no, I can't turn. I need to. Sorry, not prepared for this. Need to actually bring up my volume mixer so I can turn off the game sounds, but leave the mics on. Okay. Game down 1. I'm gonna hit play in 3, 2, 1, play. So, game started with a pitch invasion, but sort of pretty extensive on both sides, but both sides sort of picked up for it. The Rats have the ball. They're moving, trying to sort of make a little screening to the right side, make a little running, what do you call it? Row for themselves here. That's not the word I was looking for, but it'll do. Have put this gutter runner in surfing position. It's going to take... Maybe didn't realize how fast these werewolves are, but this werewolf on the left here will need both of his go for it, but can surf this gutter runner. This is turn 2. Gets the surf, gets the KO. You guys still there?
Yep.
Cool.
Yep.
The bounce is way... Wait a minute. Oh no, it hasn't happened yet. Right. Sorry, getting ahead of myself. So, because he used both of his go for it, sets him up for the 1-die counter serve here. Wranglers used their ball carrier as one of the assists, which I think may not have been the best move, because now he's fairly exposed.
The wolf is right there.
Yeah. And then instead of protecting him, decides to take a 1-die on this blotcher. Oh, I know why. Because he wants to foul the flesh golem again. But has just left the ball exposed. Does get a KO on the flesh golem, which is pretty big. But then tries to dodge out a little too late, a little bit too little too late to put some protection on the ball. Just falls down.
What's a timestamp you're at, just to make sure I'm on the same spot?
I'm not seeing a timestamp, but we're just seeing now the blitz on the strength 4, and he's rolling the first set of dice. So that's
Brutal.
We're now into 3rd surf in 2 turns, and the 4th surf in 2 turns. So double surf with the frenzy. Right, and this is a little rough, and this is what I'm not. So I can understand after the first surf being wary about the counter surf and wanting to protect the wolf, and I understand making that sort of the plan when you're first playing this out in your head and figuring out what you're going to do. Okay, we're going to move this guy over here to protect. But after you seeing that bounce, like, do you still follow through with that? Because these gutter runners are in pickup scoring range.
I guess it depends on how much you value your... Because the other one got surfed and is KO'd.
Yeah.
If the ball is in scoring range and you've got a gutter available to reach it, I would almost always go for that score and just get that score on the board so you have it.
No, but I mean for fiction here, for Gloom and Zoom, moving that ghoul to prevent the counter surf rather than trying to pick up or protect the ball, which is in scoring range for the Skaven.
Well, I mean, could anyone even get down?
Well, that ghoul could have, but instead he moved it over to defend against the counter surf.
Yeah, it's also fairly early in the game. If you can get them to score now, you still have lots of time to score.
Yeah.
Necro do have some fairly quick players.
Yeah. So the Rats side do pick up the ball, but don't go ahead for the score. They're going to try and stall it a little bit.
Well, I mean... Oh.
That just puts another gutter runner up here to protect the ball carrier. Just try to get some rats in the way.
Let me know when you get to the rats turn 5, because that's where I'm at the moment.
Okay, yeah,
Looks
we
like
just
pretty,
started Necro turn 4. So yeah, so he's got a blodger. The tackle piece can't get to him. And he's a blodge stepper, so he could very easily, if he tries to blitz this ball carrier, if he can get to him, just give him the touchdown. So this, I think, is actually pretty smart, what he ends up doing. So he puts a guard piece on him. I don't know that I would have moved that ghoul yet, because if this works, you would want someone to try and retrieve or protect the ball. But he makes the one dodge. It's a 3+ dodge to get this, but it ends up giving him 6 dice on the ball carrier, which is still not enough.
Comes up, but
yeah, still not enough to find the POW. Okay, so this is turn 5, and the rest is scored. So the rest of the first half is fairly. I didn't capture much from it or anything from it really because it's sort of inconsequential. Doom and Gloom does remove the thrower and with a pylon, which the rest said. Oh, I did note that all 3 of the knocked out Necro pieces come back, and neither of, despite having 2 babes, neither of the other team does. So they've removed a thrower and got sent off with a foul after piling on. There are 9 rats left on the pitch for the second half. The rest of the first half, the lack of rerolls sort of kept Fiction from being able to get a piece into a scoring position on turn 7. So they weren't able to score. But now we've got a little montage of what happens in the rest of this. We got 9-8.
Rats getting KO'd turn 9, turn 11.
Yeah.
Yep. Well,
Another
it's better
KO.
than the alternative.
Yeah. 7.
Rat
Another
ogres
pow.
falling
I
down.
think 6 left on the pitch. 6 left on the pitch.
KO.
This is looking a bit unfortunate for them.
5 rats left. 5.
Oh yes, good. The count when you're looking at necromantic.
It's like when you're
Oh, this
hawking.
is fun. Crazy 3 die against that doesn't find a skull, but obviously doesn't find 3 pows. So, and this guy 1 and 9 to dodge to knock himself out. So now there's 4 left on the pitch.
4.
Yeah.
Or
It gets to this point you're like, I didn't even want to have a team. Screw this game.
You don't need a team. You're Skaven.
all you need is one gutter runner.
You only got 1.
I prefer 2 myself. 2 is a larger
A
number.
gutter
than
runner and a. Oh no, he's got 3 left. He's got a gutter runner, a store vermin, and a
Line rat.
land rat.
Well, assuming. Oh, it was just a stun. Oh wait.
No.
Yep. Hold on.
No.
No. Yep. No.
Sorry, did I say he had a storm vermin?
I don't recall.
Stunned and KO.
This is
They're all just
At
sleepy.
least-
They stayed up way
Yeah.
too late the previous evening. I think is what happened.
somebody fed them tranquilizers. I'm
Yeah.
not.
Do not eat the
Another
beef.
Especially
KO.
considering how poorly their wake-up rolls went. I think they failed 3 out of 5 in the second and third drive with 2
And
Oh,
an actual injury.
finally one goes to the
But he
hospital.
still has the APO, so he just turns himself.
Ah.
this is so.
That was it. Full
pitch clear.
pitch clear.
And he's good doing the little circle dance to farm up that berries.
Yeah.
That running.
That is so wrong.
no, that's Steven.
That's just taunting.
That's gonna happen.
Yeah. Okay, so we turn that off. Get the game sounds back on. So yeah,
Yeah, but
I hadn't done one of those highlight clips in a while, and Fiction was the only one who reached out this week, so I figured I'd show that. That first half, 5 pieces served in the course of 1.5 turns. It's pretty
And then
impressive, I
and then the Negro got mad.
yeah, and then
They got angry, and the rats just bye.
got sleepy. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was so that put. I guess if Fiction had, it wouldn't have even mattered. Even if he'd lost that round, he still would have. He ended up tying it. If he had lost it, he'd still be in second place. So.
yeah, I mean, I would have went ahead and scored quickly and tried to get the ball back, and then you would have been 11-0-2.
Well, he
Oh, you
did.
still
I mean,
would've
I
second.
didn't show sort of the second half of sort of the third quarter. Sorry, the second quarter, the second half of the first half. Wasn't quite moving the ball up that quickly. I think that's one of the things with Necro is that like sort of your basic sort of lineman pitch control pieces with the zombies and the.
Well, he's in such a weird spot. Had he won, he'd still be in second place. Had he lost, he
would still be in second place.
9-0-3? No, he would have been in third. Because
No, he would have been 10-0-3.
No, you're right.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, there was no reason for him to win or lose.
Yeah, I mean, after yeah, it wouldn't have made any difference really, for week 3. But yeah, so that's fiction. Like I said, fiction sent me was the only one who sent me a tip for week 12. I think some people, or week 13 rather. I think there may have been for some for week 12, but I apologize to those folks, and I haven't done one of these in a while, so I figured I'd put that together. But let's take a look. Black and White is in the number 1 spot. Let's take a quick look at their team. Black and White. Going
Pretty solid
into...
undead teams coming out of this division.
Yeah.
Yeah, this one was
grab,
tough the whole season. It was.
Break, tackle.
Those two have been in control of the top tier of this division the whole time.
Ooh, an edgy
Very,
goal.
a very well-rounded team. I'm not sure I would put Frenzy on a ghoul though. He's got a lot of backup ghouls, so I can see why he would. But I don't like ghouls. Period. If I'm gonna move the ball at all, I'm gonna use werewolves on a necro team rather than.
Well, this is an
Armor
undead
seven.
team.
Yeah,
This is
undead.
undead.
Yeah.
He doesn't have access to werewolves, so. Yeah, no block on any of the. I mean, I feel like guard was an odd choice for the agility piece. I think
Maybe.
we've already talked about this. Just because the ghouls are fragile and a guard piece. Yeah, it's good to be able to get the guard where you want it, but that
It's a bit
agility
strange
is,
on an agility up.
yeah, because the agility is so valuable for other things. Leaving it somewhere where it's likely to get
That
hit.
being said, I'm not sure what I would take otherwise.
Yeah,
Pass.
on the doubles.
Something with pass.
I probably would have passed, but I
Oh
I
yeah,
don't
you
know,
could have taken like Nerves of Steel.
Pass, Nerves of Steel,
You mean-
even Leader in a pinch, just for the reroll.
yeah, I'm talking about passing the double, not taking pass on the double.
No, I meant
Oh.
taking a passing skill on the double.
Yeah.
But I get what you're saying, James.
I don't know. With the agility piece, I think at that point I'd be trying to build more core skills on it rather than take
Yeah.
anything fancy.
See, I think I would have made that the weird one and then made the others the core pieces.
Well, that's the thing with the agility 4. It becomes a lot stronger, especially with dodge already inbuilt.
Yeah, I mean it's. I mean yeah. I probably would have skipped it and just given it a block, honestly, just to make him a ball carrier.
Or sure hand so he can get in, get the ball, and get out.
Well, with agility 4, sure hands less.
I think I would go with block first, just because it is a ghoul.
Yeah.
Well, the
they are-
reason I
they are
say the
quite
sure hands is
fragile.
jumping into tackle zones.
All
yeah.
right, getting the.
No,
free
I
reroll,
get what you're
yeah.
saying. I'm just. I think the block would be more useful because it'll keep him alive.
But in any case, let's
Yeah,
see what their
Except he's a ghoul.
11-1-1 for this season, which is pretty insane. One loss to 90s Cartoons, who again has had a pretty amazing season, just short of the playoffs. But let's see, Black and White, first place for Div 4, REL 4. I'm looking at the bracket. Plays against a team called Interdimensional Bullshit from G-Man. Fourth place in G-Man 1. So let's take that is a high elf team coached by Toast Guy 7. So I'm not up for jumping in between
Different
different
divisions
leagues
right
right now to take a look at what the competition is going to be, just because getting everyone else to follow along at the same time is going to be. But they are their record according to the spreadsheet, 8-2-3, in fourth place in Div 1 of the ReBBL of the G-Man, and they are a high elf team. High elf's likely to have dodge. There's no tackle on Black and White, which might be a problem.
Well, Live Tree and Die Hard was a Wood Elf team in the division with him, and is the only person who tied him.
Yeah, that's
So-
what else. They'll always they'll either tie you or draw you.
Well, what I'm getting at is he may have a little bit of problem, but I doubt it. with elves. He didn't really face any.
All right, I'm going to
Yeah.
go ahead and let's take a look at the. I know I said I wasn't going to, but I'm going to jump into.
I mean,
G-Man
that
and
Wood
take
Elf
this
team
team.
was the only elf team he faced, and the next nearest thing to an agility team were Skaven and humans.
Let's see.
So he's not really had to deal with too much dodge, passing.
Interdimensional.
It may work against him.
Div 1.
I mean, I doubt it. He's got a very brutal team.
Here we go.
3 mighty blow
This-
pieces, 2 dirty players.
Oh, interdimensional BS is.
He has some injuries
Very-
on him.
Yeah,
A
it's
strength
got some
2
stat
catcher,
buffs.
movement 7 catcher.
Yeah, the strength 2 does have agility 5, and the movement 7
Yep.
is strength 4, though, so I can understand why he didn't fire those.
That's
Blitzers,
it's got the tackle strip ball
Guard.
blitzer.
got a thrower with strong arm and extra movement. It's got
Oh, he-
a lot
So
of
he's got
dodge.
a
Are there
little
any
bit.
pieces that don't have dodge? One lineman.
This lineman
Yeah, and another one that's probably getting fired.
not in the game.
Yeah.
so he's got a little bit of everything.
Yeah,
He's-
this
he's
is a
got
very
his horse
well-developed High Elf team. I've got 3 guard pieces, dodge on everyone except for 1 rookie lineman, and another lineman that's injured.
Apart from the 2 injuries on the 2 catchers, this is a really strong looking.
Yeah. And even then, yeah, I mean, one of them's strength 4. So movement
What is
7,
that elf team value?
They are at 2020.
Yeah.
Okay,
they're-
so he's going to get 400 K in inducements.
Oh, Zoom and Gloom is at 16? Something?
Black and white.
Oh, yeah, black and white.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're 1620.
Oh, yeah, so exactly 400. Yeah. So the
would
inducements
you
could make a
take?
big difference there.
I mean, Wizard probably.
Yeah.
Wizard
And-
probably, definitely.
And there's
Well, it
always,
depends
you
on
know,
what
a
the
star player that
what the
may
star player options are.
fill up a hole.
Wizard can be like tricky against agility teams like elves, just because they may not give you a good spot to use it, or may, you know,
Oh.
yeah, or
Or
like,
it
and
might
even
not
if you
matter. You
use it-
lightning bolt him, he drops the ball, he picks it up and throws it to someone else.
And even
Yeah.
if you use it, they do have that strip ball blitzer, so they could probably just
take it back. Yeah, trying to getting the right situation to use it and retrieve the ball and secure the ball. Ball carrier
He's
can be
probably
tricky
gonna
on a
go-
team like this. So it depends on
he's
what.
probably going to go bribe heavy.
That wouldn't be a bad. He's got the 2 dirty players.
Yeah, he's got 2 dirty players and a wrestling ghoul.
mhm.
So he can put a player on the floor and then start kicking it.
Yeah, and with the injured lineman, interdimensional BS does not have any bench to fall
extra
back
play. Yeah.
They do. They are a little over in cash. They got 10 extra in cash, so they may or may not
Burn
Those-
that.
burn
They
that.
are probably the favorites for that matchup. So do you just save it for your next matchup, which could be harder?
The 10K.
Not the 10K, but like they have 160K in bank. They could obviously just buy a wizard of their own.
Oh, yeah. I
They
wouldn't. I
can
wouldn't
also-
buy a wizard. I might.
They could also just buy a blood babe.
Yeah, they might get a babe. They could actually buy a new. They could replace this dead lineman and to have some bench.
That's true.
Or not dead, but agility 3. So on an elf team without any special skills,
Only,
as good as dead.
only on elves would an agility 3 lineman be a bad thing.
Well, it's 90K. Yeah. Well, 70 plus the 20 for the
It's
block.
a pretty
so,
expensive lineman.
yeah, for like basically a human lineman.
Although if they do take the option of filling out their bench a bit more, their TV goes up and the other guy gets more induced.
That's true. So that's probably not the right move. But yeah, I mean, hiring and firing a cheerleader or a coach just to trim the extra 10 isn't the worst idea either. And actually, International BS has a cheerleader
and a coach.
assistant already. So he could
Well,
trim 30K off of the inducements he's giving just by.
Okay, so that's 370, and
I mean, yeah, that's
Black
still
and
not
White
going to make
has
that much of a difference.
80 in the bank, so he's back up to 450 if he wants.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't know what star players are available for the undead, but so yeah, depending on the star players, they'll probably get a wizard, but maybe save up for a good star player, and almost certainly get some bribes with all those dirty players he has on his team. But yeah, so let's get back to the REL.
Check that Elf's stadium real quick before you leave.
Magic Dome.
Magic Dome is
okay.
The weather.
Weather.
And Black and White does not have an enhancement, so that might make a difference as well.
It depends. I mean, if it wants to rain, the elves are going to be better in the rain.
Yeah, I'm not sure why an elf would take the dome, really.
Snow.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I mean, a blizzard.
Well, I mean, if you want to be throwing a lot.
Well, throwing is what elves do.
But he does have a strong
elves in particular.
arm.
Yeah.
He does have a strong arm thrower.
Yeah, I mean, that's probably what he's thinking. But blizzard is, what, 1 in 36 on the weather table, so...
I don't know, but...
not super likely.
I think you need a 12.
I do know that Ledeas didn't like it when it happened to him.
I was about to say, out of 8 games, I've seen it 2 or 3 times in the beginning of the Wreck-If League, so yeah, F Snow, F it all the way to July.
It happened to you the last game against Strab, right?
I don't remember, but I mean, it's terrible. It's worth the dome, especially if you ever want to throw more than 2 squares.
Yeah.
Snow is bad.
Snow, yeah.
Snow is bad, yeah.
So before we move on to Div 5, we've got one of the coaches here from Div 4, so let's take a look at the at Jasper's team. How did you fare in the season? Are you gonna...
Which team is yours?
RAT Rat.
Oh, you mean me? Yeah, but the last game that the last game I had, I didn't get any real skills or anything, so they haven't changed. I mean, I've got guard on both vermin. I've got my stat upgrades on the 2 linemen. I've got my puncher with the horns now that I don't have a rat ogre. Just really, I'm just gonna wait. I'm either gonna re-roll or I'm gonna go balls to the wall and keep these guys going.
Have you been getting just like really terrible winnings rolls? Because didn't you only?
Yeah, that's part of it. The last game I had 10,000 in the bank. I got 40, I think, in the week 13. I don't normally get very good winnings rolls. It does take me a while to build up a bank, and even then, I tend to.
So yeah, if you had 10,000, why didn't you replace Vlad?
I don't have enough to replace him right now.
But you said a week or so ago you had 10,000. What did you spend it on?
I only had
10,000, not 100,000. Right. Oh, sorry.
No, not 100,000. Yeah, so
zero there.
Yeah, sorry.
I after thinking about it, I
have a question. I have a question. Why don't you offer your 2 stat up linemen to the free agency and use that money to buy a replacement gutter runner? I'm not sure I would get rid of the one you have, just have a backup one.
I was thinking about it because what I wanted to do was bring over my gutter runner from the COL, because he's the stat freak with horns, +2 movement, and a whole bunch of other stuff.
Not gonna let that happen.
Yeah, no, it's got to be players that came up in the Rebel.
Yep.
Yeah, I was thinking if I'm re-rolling, I would probably put these guys up for free agency. If I'm going to keep the team, I'm probably just going to keep Vlad and let him, either he gets stat busted one more time and I definitely fire him, or he dies on the pitch. Because right now I don't have the money. If I do get the money, I'm probably going to get either another lineman for a bench or save up for another Rattown.
Well, what I'm asking is...
Yeah, if you sold either Fongo or Nalthon Bones, either one of those would be enough to replace.
Yeah, I would rather... I would rather...
a second gutter runner.
Yeah, I'm saying get a second one, not replace him.
Yeah.
Having 2 gutter runners opens up a lot of opportunity.
I think I'll stop. I play with the 1. That's my thing.
I've got the 1 too, but I also have 3 friends.
Yeah. So, but like I said before, I haven't decided what I'm doing with the team. I didn't join the Open Invitational. I'll probably just go straight up to the spins when that time comes. Right now, these guys are just sitting in limbo, and I'm playing in the COL. So
Yeah. Well, I think you could, if you were gonna start playing spins, you'll if there's
Can
anyone else.
re-rolling.
You could start now. I think as long as the other you
Yep.
could find an opponent who's not in either the not still in the playoffs or the or the other tournaments. So. And then as people get knocked out of both of those tournaments, then there'll be more. You'll have more competition to choose from too. But yeah, if you can find an opponent now who's not in either one, you can start immediately.
Yeah,
but-
I mean, if it were me, I'd sell the 2 linemen, buy a replacement gutter runner, and
If you don't
then
mind
see
me-
where your bank stands. Not a replacement, an extra.
If you don't mind me asking, why did you take the horns on the block line rat?
Whenever I get doubles on the first doubles I get is almost always horns, because I like having blitzers from like all positions. Just you never know where a possible blitz could come. I definitely do it on my gutters in hopes that they roll a stat up for strength. I mean, I don't even have my Rat Ogre now. I lost him mid-season, so now I can use the Enslaved one as my main hitter, charge forward and cause some troubles.
Fair enough.
He's my hitter until things happen otherwise.
I like them. I think it's neat.
Oh, yeah,
While we're
that's-
talking rats, I did notice from that, I don't know when this happened, but the other rat team here that we watched the clip from, and I didn't point this out during the clip, but Rattown Wranglers put Claw, got doubles on their Rat Ogre and gave him Claw.
Ooh,
Which
I'm not
is-
sure.
Yeah,
I would go block first. Just
Most,
for
I
the
think
block.
most people would, but this is obviously an aggressive
Yeah.
play.
Well, I mean, I certainly use my my Rat Ogre completely different than a lot of other people might. I'm not terribly into blitzing with it.
You mean
Then
you don't
how-
grow a 3rd arm and then score with it?
No. I think I'll leave that up to my other players.
But yeah, I thought that was interesting. It's not something you see a lot of. Usually, doubles on a Rat Ogre is going to immediately go block. But yeah, turned him into basically a little a Minotaur with prehensile tail, basically, and a little faster, I think.
Yes, one faster.
Yeah.
I can't remember if the Minotaur was 2 or 1 agility though.
Oh yeah, they might be 1.
I think he has a 2.
Yeah, I can't remember. The only time I use the Minotaur is when I'm doing something stupid like an all beastman build.
I like the Mentor.
Or he's like a Yeti with prehensile tail plus movement and plus agility, basically.
And he's got horns, which he can blitz any big guy. That's what you're into.
Oh yeah, no horns on the Rat Ogre, so I guess it's not quite like a.
Yeah,
It's a bit more like a Yeti than a Minotaur, but yeah, Claw, weird, scary. I don't know, but yeah, so that's Div 4. Unless you guys have any other notes or things
Nope.
you wanna cover there, let's move on to Div 5.
So who's going to the playoffs on Div 5?
Arch XL.
Nice. My dark horse.
Wait, Arch XL isn't the dark horse.
He was when we did the about 4 weeks ago when we did it. He was in like 3rd or 4th, and I was like, I'm picking
Really?
the high elf.
No, I think the high elf you picked was not FDA approved.
I could be wrong. I've been wrong before. But
Because Arch has been in the lead almost
yeah?
all season. He's been killing
He's
it.
got 11-1-1, so.
like I said, I've been wrong before.
He actually doesn't have that loss because there was an administrator error or whatever.
So what's he?
So he had an undefeated season.
Nice. And so did actually the second place, the Grim Grinning Ghosts. They ended up
He
4
is
points
very
away
high
from each
seed
other.
in the that tournament thing.
Right.
Yeah, the Grim Grinning Ghost. He's
He's number 1.
He was like, oh, is he number 1? Okay.
He was number 1 seed.
I knew
So
he was. I knew he was quite up there.
He
and
ended with
he's
31
facing off of
points.
Steve
Yeah,
Okay.
from Division 2.
the The race between the drinking as a skill and Arch XL was also very close.
How did they end up drinking a skill?
They wound up in fourth because
they lost to the Rusty Bash.
they lost to the
this didn't
they
get
lost
played.
to Arch.
And then missed the last week.
Oh, did they miss the last week? Wow. That's
This was
unfortunate.
the division that had like 2 or 3 skipped games every week, wasn't it?
yeah.
We had a lot of missing games.
Yeah.
One of the weeks might have been because I wasn't around, or not because I wasn't around, but me and my opponent just couldn't work. But there was 2 coaches missing for a really long time.
Yeah. Oh yeah. There were 2 just actually. And I think there still
Super
are.
Witchy and Lickety Split Lizards, who actually.
Oh, Lickety Split Lizards disappeared.
Yeah, and then
I couldn't contact him. I was having issues. I couldn't find him on Steam because
yeah, he was AWOL for a couple of weeks, and then came back for 1 week, and then went AWOL for a few more weeks, and then so that was it. And then yeah, and then there was a third. Let's see, what was the schedule? Who was actually here in week 1 that is not here anymore? Was it the Drunken Devastators?
Yeah,
so
you're
there's
right.
3 full dropouts.
one of them was replaced by 11 Demons
11
from Hell.
Demons, yeah.
Yep.
I was the one who played him on his first match, and I feel kind of bad.
Well, I mean, he
Dude,
came in
that-
like, you know, having to take over the record of a team that had been giving away bye weeks. So this has been a building season for them anyway.
Well,
This high elf team is crazy.
Sorry,
not an anime sports team.
Yeah.
it's a really solid team. He's begrudging the fact that he hasn't gotten very many doubles or any stat ups or anything like that.
Well,
But he has
except that
built
he
a
has.
really yeah. Apparently, he's decided to make a liar out of me.
Yeah, he's got the.
Well, he's got 1.
No, well, he's got
And
doubles.
guard.
He's got the doubles
he's
on the
got,
guard.
He's got a doubles and he's got a
He's got the
strength up.
strengths up blitzer. So.
But for the longest time, he hadn't, I guess, and he was like, "Oh, I wish I could roll."
I'm just
such and
saying,
such."
as a person who plays a lot of elf teams, I don't really care about getting the doubles and stuff. I care about not getting the death.
Well, getting the doubles can help with that.
I tried
Benson
really
to the
hard.
place.
I tried really hard. He just had a little bit too much dodge, and I didn't have tackle.
I mean, he's got 4 catchers. That's an expensive lineup.
Catchers are the stars of the high elves, as far as I'm concerned.
They are, but they're
Yeah.
also, I believe, 100K new.
90, I think.
90.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why I don't play elves. They're too expensive. That's why I stick to the rats. More move for less money.
And if
Well-
one dies, you can buy another one.
All right, they're
Well,
cheap.
you just don't care about the line rats. They might as well be worth 40K.
Let's see here. What's the TV right now? 1640. He's getting at least 40 more if these are regular skill ups.
For a team that's this developed to have such a trim TV, though, that's really good.
16. I
He
would
had
call
a-
1680 that trim. But what's he going to be up against? Let's see. The bracket.
So his match is either against Morka or Sandoon, and they're playing their match later today.
Ooh, second place from G-Man 1.
Yep. It's either Sandoon or Morka, and they're currently tied and have to play a friendly.
Wait, I thought
He's
second
got-
and third were. It was a tie between Sage and.
No. The Big O. They're from the Big O.
Oh, I'm looking
He
at the
has
wrong. I am looking at the. I'm looking at. Who the
But
He
which
plays
band is
second
playing.
place from the Big O Div 1,
You're right. Yeah, Big O.
which is
Big O Div 1.
he's got a rough season ahead of him as well.
But he's got 4 players with blodge right now with a move
Yep.
7 or 8. And as soon as that 5th catcher levels up, unless it's super special, he can get another blodge.
Five
Then-
players with blodge. Sorry.
Well, the other one's wrestling and dodge.
2 blitzers, a thrower, 2 catchers, blodge. I believe, unless I'm
Well-
reading something.
The thrower doesn't have block.
Oh, right. Yep, never mind.
That's what I'm saying. He's got 4 now. The other 5th catcher, or the 5th character could be that last catcher. It's going to level up. Unless he gets something special, he takes dodge. There's another blodge.
I'm curious as to what his current blodge catcher is going to take. He seems to take really like solid, sensible choices in most cases.
It's wild. I love it.
No, he's a pretty solid coach as well.
I was going to say, name a team that you would not want 5 blodgers with movement 7 or better.
I mean, I'm not going to really be able to, but
exactly.
It's very unlikely on a goblin team. You could just take more dirty player, take some sneaky get, just foul all day long.
Well, yeah. Well, dirty players is double on a goblin.
Oh, right now.
Oh, you guys with the damn.
You've ruined it. You've ruined my dream.
I would expect sidestep maybe on this. You know, just make him into a
sidestep is a fairly sensible choice. He might also take tackle because he is going to be facing either elves or elves.
That's true.
And
yeah,
they're really strong elves.
Yeah, he's probably waiting to see which of those elf teams he's up against before deciding. But yeah.
2 wrestlers for ball hawking.
Yeah, one with tackle and strip ball too.
And both those elf teams are quite scary to look at.
Should we take a quick jump over to the Big O?
I love it. The only thing I think is he has no thrower. Oh no, he does have a thrower. It's just not a developed for passing. It's developed for ball protection.
It's more of a defensive thrower than a.
So we're looking for Div 1. Second place is either going to be Shadow Hill Cowboys or White Lion. So Shadow Hill 2240 for the Cowboys.
Yeah. But
wow,
this is Sandoon. So, this is an incredible coach.
Hug the bloat.
You got a plus strength on a blitzer and on a witch elf.
Yeah.
The other witch elf has got mighty
blow. On a runner. Agility up on a blitzer.
Yeah, he basically turned one of his blitzers into an Ag 5
Super Bowl
war
champion?
dancer.
I believe that is the case.
It's a very dangerous team.
And it's really solidly built, again, like the other team.
Yeah, and a lot of dodge. Yeah, so maybe
a lot of dodge,
tackle.
Fair amount of wrestle and a fair amount of block. It's a pretty good team. I'm a fan.
Yeah, and then the other one was the White Line.
White Line at 2070. And just as much dodge.
Well, yeah, they're wood elves, so.
And a
block
mighty
tree.
blow piling on War Dancer.
What? They've got a Palmer War Dancer? That's fucking nuts.
That's almost as crazy.
You got to see the animation a lot last time they were playing against Sandoon.
And Juggernaut on the other one. That's weird.
That's almost as crazy as the Palm Zombie I've got on my team.
So.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I guess that does actually. I hadn't even thought of that. That does.
It transfers it into a.
Yeah, you can turn it both down into a push. So that's sort of instead of taking wrestle on a PC where you already have block.
And doesn't it also break
breaks fend, stand firm, and
a whole bunch of things.
Stand firm, fend, and
then he's also got the wonderful guard block, mighty branch.
Yeah.
It's a dirty player on a lineman.
Not something you see a lot of on elf teams, but I guess he's going about to my theory that I was espousing the other week was that when you've got an AV7 team, fouling in order to just keep attrition from spiraling is pretty useful. But he's got some bench too, so.
I mean, you should almost always have at least one player with dirty player.
It's a fairly reasonable skill.
Yeah. Although elf teams are so expensive for their linemen that it always seems like.
Maybe he just wants to keep the kick alive.
Yeah. And then it's
just extra damage to go along with that.
And it's like a deterrent for piling on to, if nothing else.
And then he's also got 2 diving tackle catchers.
Oh, blodge step diving tackle catchers. Oh, gross.
And the movement up one, which was wonderful in his last one when he got like 3 blitzes or something.
Ugh. Yeah, and with
The-
sidestep, that's just a one.
That's the nightmare to end all nightmares right there.
He just needs one push in order to get him into touchdown range. So.
I will say, if anybody didn't watch the Sandoon versus Morka game, I really recommend it.
Yeah, so Arch is going to have his work cut out for him, whichever
Yeah.
he's playing. He's going to be getting a lot of inducement cash, like 400 against this team and 600 against the other one. But after a certain point,
It stops being at all useful.
Yeah, you get sort of
At some point, it's like
diminishing returns on those.
I could take whatever that guy's name is, the one guy that's worth like 400,000 and does nothing.
Yeah. Morgan
The guy that dies every turn.
Yeah. Whew. But yeah, so that's going to be a rough.
It's a bit unfortunate for him.
For none of
I
the
wish him
sports
luck.
team. And then after that, he may be going up against. If he does manage to win the first week, he may be going up against Lumi or Condobert's Pact from G-Man 4. Anyway, let's get back to the.
He is a pretty solid coach, though, so he does still have a chance.
Yeah.
I like how not FDA approved is the only player in that division who does not have a draw.
Oh. Yeah, I kind of picked. Oh, he has a. Are you sure? Showing him what.
Not
In the season anyway.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah,
in
no,
the,
I
maybe
picked
the
up a
spin
lot
matches
of
or in a friendly.
draws. Fortunately.
Yeah. So yeah, while we're here, we've got a coach from Div 5. Let's take a look at the Goodafellas and talk about how your season went.
With the mutated stat freak gutter runner, everybody was mad about.
Oh, everybody's not very happy with him.
No.
Oh,
Is
yeah.
Claw on the Vermin new? Did you have him before?
No. He picked it up last game.
Yeah. So that's a little terrifying. Alright, and he's already had Mighty Blow and Piling On, so you've already got your Claw Palmer.
Oh, and a strength up lineman as well.
Yeah, he's just sort of goes on the line. I'm hoping he dies.
Yeah, it's kind of bloat.
I took it because I have the strength 4 gutter runner.
I'm just saying, the big cheese.
What is your TV at now? 1700.
1700. It's fairly large.
Yeah, I mean, you've got some. I mean, it's not bad considering all the stat. You've got some decent development, and considering you've got 3 strength ups, it's not too bad.
Do you put the gutter runner on the line?
Carlo Gorgonzola? No.
Okay.
He doesn't go anywhere near the line.
No,
I was just about to say 2 4s and a rat ogre.
He's hiding behind the other 3 gutter runners.
Fair enough. I'm just curious.
Give him
Everybody's
horns.
been
Give
trying to kill him.
Carlo horns.
No, not gonna happen. I'm thinking about giving him foul appearance just for that moment when somebody's like, "Yes, I can finally kill him," and then rolls a 1.
Foul appearance, prehensile tail, diving tackle. All those are pretty good.
I'm probably just going to be making him a basic ball carrier, having a strength 4 ball carrier with blodge and agility 4.
And
And
movement
big
9.
is-
Really, really good.
Yeah.
So sure hands.
Also thinking
Sure.
about that.
Yeah, sure hands, big hand.
I'd probably give him sidestep first, but
Sidestep is probably going to be the one first, but I will probably not be using him for 1 turn attempts.
well, no. What also lets you sideline cage with a bit more safety.
Yeah.
Is mainly why I would take that. Just it's useful for a ball carrier. So that
Wait.
you can...
You have a Thor with strong arm. Give him catch.
No, probably not.
Okay. It was worth a shot.
My plan with Clarence there is to get another double and give him big hand, so I can just scoop up the ball and then chuck it out.
That would not be bad. Big hands, and then what do you call it? Nerves of Steel.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
what tackle zones?
I just wanted him to be able to pick up the ball so I don't have to put my gutters in danger.
Nerves of Steel, dump off, have Carlo right behind him, and then Carlo just takes off.
Yeah, my match against the off-seasonal person is in about another 9 hours or so.
And
Who
who
are
are
you
you
up against?
facing?
Lizard Beast from Division 6.
Oh, we'll look at them later then.
Oh,
Yes. His team's in a bit of rough shape at the moment.
Well, I mean,
I'll glance at that in just a minute here. Let's see what we got for this.
Yeah. Should we move on to Div 6, or is there anything else we want to look at? Let's take a look at actually what happened in the last couple of weeks.
yeah, let's take a look
This
at
is
the
nominally
schedule.
a recap video instead of just a end of season.
So even with all your crazy gutters, you lost to not an anime sports team.
Yeah, that was a fairly close match. It
3-2 would have to
came
be.
down to one roll where I could have, I fumbled the ball throwing it to somebody else and it sort of fell after he snake-eyed on the tripwire.
And the Armor 8 High Elves ended up with more casualties and KO sustained than the Armor 7 Rats.
Yep. Yeah. So.
Oh, you got a lot more blocks than they did.
The Big Cheese kind of had a bit of a field day on those guys. Every time he swung his fists, an elf fell down.
Now, if they would only stay down.
Oh, a couple of them stayed down.
Yeah, four
Every
casualties.
time a rat ogre swings his claws, a high elf gets a gravestone.
If only. I wish I got a kill.
Oh, big passing game. 5 passes and 5 catches on the elf side.
Yeah. Yeah, he was rolling a lot of dice.
That's my kind of game. I love it. If you're not throwing the ball, you're not playing.
Nice. So let's take a look at what else had happened here. Grim Grinning Ghost got a bye week for some reason. 11 Demons wasn't able to play this week. The two missing teams played each other, quote unquote, played each other.
I wonder how that game went.
How about Tadpoles in the City coming 3-0?
Oh yeah, that was a
yeah.
game.
Against Nurgle?
Yeah, I watched part of that while I was doing the death montage, and
I mean, he came in third after coming into the division 1-1-1 because he took someone's spot. And since he's played, it's 7-2-1.
yeah, so
He had a very good season.
solid season. Let's take a look at Tadpoles, where they are at development-wise, just for. Do anyone know if he's playing in the tournament
I
or
believe
spinning?
he's
or...
playing in the off-seasonal. I believe.
Right, he's
I
got the
think I saw-
Bloxagor, which helps so much.
Yes, he was seeded 6th, and he has to face off against.
I think it's a bye week.
Nope, he has Snovgard from Division 6.
No.
Yeah, well,
oh
take-
wait. No. Yeah.
Tadpoles in the big city have to go up against some Norse from Division 6.
Now, Snovgard is a Chaos team, I think.
Is it?
Yeah.
I thought they were.
I'm not entirely sure.
Well, we'll look when we get
Yeah,
there.
we'll look when we get to do it at 6. But yeah, Block Croxagor is
A gift.
gold. Yeah. 1 SPP away from picking up something else there. Got a Bloodstep Skink. Development. What's TV here? 1520. That's not too bad for the level development here. Yeah. Cool. And then they were up against, which, as long as we're looking at that one,
Rob's Rodder.
Rob's Brothers, right? Rob's Brothers, 1630.
Right in the middle.
They don't have a lot of little guys.
Yeah, they're running out of Rotters.
They
Uh,
have.
They have no
some nice
Rotters.
stuff, though.
They have 0 Rotters.
Yep. He'll get them. It's aggressive recruitment, but
Yeah.
He's got
he'll
a
get them eventually.
5 rerolls.
stat up Pestigore.
Yep. Strength, agility up Pestigore, and then an agility up big hand
Big
Pestigore.
hand.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
It's pretty good. The one thing that I don't like on this is he took guard before stand firm on the Beast of Nurgle.
That's a little weird.
Yeah, guard is usually the first skill that I get on a big guy if I don't roll a decent roll. I mean,
For
even on
most
a
big
battle group, I'll
guys,
get
for
guard.
most big guys, but the
Yeah.
Beast of Nurgle is so important for those
He
tentacles.
needs to stay where you put him.
Yeah.
Because
The tentacles are what it
the
was really good for.
these at what a block character can do to just push him away is not that bad, especially when you consider him just going uphill.
Yeah, uphill with a
You can just
reroll, it's like a 90% chance that he's either going down.
push him
or
off, and then
exposed.
you have to
Yeah.
move the Beast of Nurgle again, and then he becomes less reliable, and then
Yeah.
I think it's kind of funny. He's probably going to have those rotters up front, the loners, with his Beast of Nurgle, and just have the lone lineman. Or the loner line of scrimmage.
yeah. Well, usually you just leave you just put the 3 rotters on the field or on the line, and then move the Beast into position.
Alright, he's not going to have 3 routers to put on the line now. He's only getting 2.
Oh, you're right. Oh, what is he?
I mean, maybe the guard warrior.
I would still put the guy there, but that's
Yeah,
me because
the beast.
Maybe
I don't really like the
I-
big worm.
I don't know. I'd be scared of him dying. That Beast of Nurgle can win you games.
I mean, if all else fails, I guess you could always put the no skill up Pestigore on the line.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they're his only. I mean, he's got the 2 agility 4 pieces too, but Pestigores in general
And
are the ball carrying, like, sort of important, ball handling pieces.
they're
And the
workhorse.
speed pieces. So like,
They do all the heavy work while your Nurgle warriors just sort of stand there.
I mean, the jump up warrior wouldn't necessarily be the worst idea because he gets knocked down, he gets, back
Up again.
Yeah,
Someone
they're
sing the
never gonna
theme
keep him
song.
down. Yeah.
If he has at least 40k in inducement, though, he can always just mercenary a rotter in.
The
Well, you would
stupid
need-
thing is, He could just buy
30
2
plus
of
on
them.
top of that, so 70.
Oh, he can just buy. Maybe he's just hoping to get a kill. He wants those free rotters.
Yep.
Well,
Well,
buying 2 of
gentlemen,
them, buying 2 of them isn't gonna get him anything because they're just it's just removing loner on 2 pieces, basically.
Yep.
So I don't know if he could buy 3 in order to have a bench, that would be one thing, but he can't afford it. I'm not sure why he has 5 rerolls though.
But if you have 3 rotters to put them on the line, which one of the 9 positionals are you taking off?
Yeah, it's a bit weird. I think it depends on where you're going as well. You might take off a Pestigore if you're playing defense.
Well, if you're going to take one of the Pestigores off, why not put him on the line to begin with?
Well, you take him off if you're on defense, so that you can put him on for offense. That you make sure he's not gonna.
He stays safe. He doesn't die.
Yeah.
That's why I don't care about that Beast of Nurgle. Put him on the line.
Oh,
Sacrificial beast.
That's right, and then put the four warriors spread out in 1 or 2 lines behind him, and then nobody completes a pass in the first 2 or 3 turns near you.
I'm shocked you'd play Nurgle though. They're the anti-pass team.
And you know what I do with them? I throw the ball.
Seems legit.
Well, this
Hey,
team
I'm just
probably
saying-
could.
When I started my Nurgle team, I started with a lot of rotters, and they can pick up the ball. They die, but they can pick up the ball.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean they are AG3. Everyone says that.
Everyone seems to forget about them.
Yeah, they were sort of, they're just like zombies, but they are more agile. So, all right. So, is there anything else in Div 5 we want to take a look at before we move on to Div 6?
I don't think so.
Anything crazy in the last 2 weeks in the schedule? Let's take a look at what happened in week 12. Tadpoles beat the Dominators. Gorgzork's got a bye week. Not FDA approved. Beat the Demons. 3-1. Goudafellas beat Scholarly Gentleman. Rusty Basher's got a bye week. Ghost beat the Rotters. And then not an anime sports team beats Drinking the Skull. So yeah, no crazy upsets there as far as I can remember. I don't remember all the details of all these teams and who were the favorites, but let's just move on to Div 6.
Boom. And the leader was the Wooden Stand-Ins, the Wood Elves.
Stand-ins, Wood Elves, who won their last game. So this was very, very close in terms of points.
Yep.
Going into week 13, or maybe it was going into week 12, all the top 3 teams were like a point away from each other. Basically needed Wooden Stand-In, and I think the Wooden Stand-In got a bye week in the week 12. Am I misremembering that? No, they did not. They tied actually against the Berserkers, which was big.
They needed, yeah.
The Berserkers. Oh yeah, and this is lost basically 2 players. The Wooden Stand-Ins won the division overall, going to the playoffs, but had very rough last 2 weeks. Dead Elf and busted and fired guard piece in week 12, and then in the most recent week, you can see their TV is dropped like a stone. They are once again, for the second time in one season, missing a tree. And
that's an impressive feat. I salute them.
Yeah, so I put a little bit of extra time into the end montage, so we'll see exactly what happened here. But yeah, stat buffs on a War Dancer, on a movement catcher. I don't know if he keeps his catcher. I feel like his movement 9 is so good, and he's got catch, which makes the agility buff less troublesome.
This is really unfortunate.
He's only got 80,000 in the bank though, so it's not like he can replace them if you fire them.
Yeah, but I mean just in general, like once after he's played a few rounds, is this an instant fire for a movement 9 on a catch?
No.
On a piece that starts with sprint. It's
no.
So big.
It's
not at all.
The catcher, I don't know. The minus agility on a 9 movement 2 strength catcher is.
Especially once you get him sure feet.
I don't know. I would probably let him go at this point.
Or God forbid another move bonus.
I don't know. The problem is he's only 3 agility now.
Yeah.
So
he's less. He can't catch. If he's in a tackle zone, he's probably not going to catch the ball. He's going to have some more trouble dodging out of it.
Zone, he's got bigger problems anyways.
Well, that's the thing with a piece like this is you have him down the pitch to catch with. Right?
Dodges away.
But on a 1 and 9 instead of a 1 and 36.
Oh Lord.
And you're also paying for that. Your TV ends up bloated by that.
You guys are brutal. I don't know how you guys have any people on your teams.
Well, I don't let them get hurt.
Yeah, I mean the only ones I have that have got any injuries are already too developed to get rid of. And yeah, I'll replace it. I
don't let anybody get hurt. I don't count line rats. Those kind of, they're there to die.
Yeah, basically anything. Saurus, if it's I've got 1 Niggled Saurus and 1 Niggled Skink, but the Niggled Saurus is too developed to get rid of. Plus he's AV9, so a Niggled injury isn't that bad. And the Niggled Skink is of course Agility 5, so.
That's why you're so cavalier with their lives. You're playing lizards. You've already got 6 high armor, strong linemen. You've got, 5? Or no, you have a Croxagore, I bet. So there's another large dude. Yeah, no wonder you're cavalier with these people and fire them. Because Saurus are hard to get a level anyway. So a first level Saurus and a second level Saurus, it's not a big difference.
Right, but that's one thing. It becomes a more difficult question once they're higher, more.
And you're going to be getting points on skinks anyway, so if you have to fire level 2 or 3 skinks, so what?
Yeah, and they're cheap, and they're just sort of...
One of the other things you need to consider with that as well.
But it doesn't work that way with elves. When your cheapest player is 70k.
Well, I'd say that's a reason, more of a reason to fire them is if they're not pulling their weight in terms of team value, then
But
they're
can
bloating
pull
your
their
TV.
weight. He's got a movement.
The thing is, you can level up the catchers fairly easily, especially on a Wood Elf team.
Okay.
They're really solid for one turns, just as is. They're almost as good as
Well, at the moment, 3 of the players are not doing anything to the TV, so you let them sit until you see what's going to happen to the rest of your team.
Right.
Play your next game, find out what happens. You might not be able to afford to fire him.
Yeah, that's the other thing. I'm not saying you fired him eventually, but it just sort of is that question of like, movement 9 on a piece with sprint, fantastic. But
I'm just saying that guy's a human catcher. You wouldn't fire him on a human team.
But he wouldn't be nearly as.
You would have 1 more armor, and he wouldn't have sprint.
And he wouldn't have sprint.
And he'd be cheaper to start with, I think. Yeah.
Yeah.
Depending on if it's a cyanide. Well, if cyanide, he would have 1 more armor. If tabletop, he'd be 30k less expensive.
This is Blood Bowl 2. This isn't.
Yeah, Blood Bowl 2. He's 20k less expensive and has 1 more armor. And no sprint.
Actually, I think he's probably. I mean, obviously he's going to miss that War Dancer in the next game, but I think he's going to miss the kicker more than he is the catcher.
Oh, you're definitely going to miss the kicker. Kickers are just so good on high movement.
And the tree. And at this point, with all the development on this War Dancer, you can't really afford to get rid of him.
He's got a really unfortunate first playoff match.
Oh yeah, so who is
playing?
he playing first? Let's see.
I'm not actually sure.
Wooden stand-ins. It's going to be the second place of G-Man 1. So either Sage or Gerber, depending on. It'll be the winner of that match. Yeah, the winner of that match rather than the loser. The winner of that match plays the wooden stand-ins. The loser plays Gloom and Zoom. What's that?
So Sage plays Chaos. What does
Orcs?
Orcs? Oh God.
Yeah.
Which one do you hope for?
I don't know. I guess since we've got two of our playoff, player teams are actually going to be playing these 2 teams. I'm going to jump over to the G-Man and take a look at how they're developed.
You hope they drop out and give you a bye week.
Yeah.
Right?
I would rather face Orcs than Chaos, only because Chaos can blitz from anywhere with all those horns, so they've got that advantage.
But third
and
place or
Sage's
second
Chaos
place Orcs is pretty solid.
Probably with a lot of Mighty Blow and all that too, yeah.
I mean, I think your only hope against Orcs is you can run past them.
Okay.
I mean,
set up a screen or 2.
So I'm looking at G-Man Div 1 right now. It's gonna be
Slanesh Slaughterers or
maybe Orc will work or Slanesh Slaughterers.
Yeah.
So maybe Orc will work is a 1740 Orc team
with guard.
With a lot of
think
1,
Jasper
2,
has a
3,
good point.
4. They're missing 1.
1, yeah.
1, 2, 3,
one
4,
of their
5,
blitzes.
6 guard, and not including the one they're missing. They do have a Blood Stand Firm diving tackle blitzer.
Filthy lineman.
2 dirty player linemen.
A Mighty Blow or a Palm Pro blitzer.
Yeah, with tackle.
Yeah.
How many Mighty Blow here? 1, 2, 3, 4.
4?
Not including
4.
the one that's out. Yeah.
Yeah. And he does have that Agility 4 blitzer.
Agility 4 blitzer. Yeah, who's also his Blood Stand Firm tackle diving.
What's the
Diving
team
tackle.
value of that Orc team?
1740, I think.
Okay, so the stand-ins would get 280 from Journeyman, so that would put him at 1310.
He's got 5,000, but what does he do?
So 13, so 430, I think.
He gets a Tree Man. He gets Willow, and then I don't know, a couple apothecaries.
Well, I mean, the Withered, I think you almost certainly take the Withered. It's not like, what I was saying before, the Withered against Elf teams can be less useful, against an Orc team can be very useful.
Yeah, and especially as Wood Elves, you can make that Wizard work
I know, I was
yeah,
kidding, but
retrieval also being
definitely
huge.
take Willow. I mean, Willow's 150k, and he's got Strength 4, and he has Dauntless.
Well, that's not Strength 4.
Yeah.
Dauntless isn't gonna. There's no one with Strength 5 or more here, so that's not gonna.
Yeah, and there's also a lot of guard, so the Dauntless would just.
Well, then maybe he ought to go. Maybe he ought to go with Dolpher and get the a good passer, the Hail Mary pass.
Well, he also
Who's
may
the,
not be playing this team, so this team is either going to be playing Gloom and Zoom or the Wooden Stand-In.
Slanesh Slaughter.
So let's take a look at Sage's team.
Like I said, I agree with you.
1950
Jasper.
Chaos. Ooh.
Oh.
That's an ugly team.
So the
Ew.
claws, at least the claw is bloat against Wood Elves.
They're beautiful on the inside.
It's got the 2 strengths up Beastmen.
A good chunk of guard.
1, 2,
And don't all
3,
Beastmen have a movement of
4.
6?
Yeah.
Yeah. All Beastmen have a movement of 6. All Chaos Warriors have a movement of 5.
5,
Yeah.
right.
4 guard pieces. 1, 2, 3 mighty blow pieces. 1 who has piling on.
6 strength 4 pieces. 'Cause
Yeah.
Why not?
2 of whom blitz at strength 5.
Yep.
Only
One
2.
with Frenzy Stand Firm.
Yeah. So that's being surfed is going to be an issue there. 2 tackle pieces. One of whom is also a plus strength beastman. Oof. Oof. Yeah,
No.
I don't think Wooden Stand-Ins or Gloom and Zoom is going to have an easy time on either of these teams. It's gross. And unfortunately,
Wait, Gloom and
unless
Zoom was Div 5, right?
Div 4.
Div 4, okay.
Yeah. And whichever of these teams ends up against Gloom and Zoom, if they win that one and their next match, and assuming I win my first and second matches, which is obviously not a given, I'm going to be up against one of these teams as well. So now I wish I hadn't looked at them because maybe there'll be an upset. Who knows?
Maybe
Or maybe I won't make it that. Maybe I won't make it that long, and I won't have to worry about it.
Oh, you should have joined the off-seasonal.
Yeah.
Well, let's take a look at the. Wasn't there another team that we were talking about checking out for James?
Oh yeah, in Div 6 there were 2 of the 2 of our REL 6 teams we were talking about for
The off-seasonal.
The off-season.
The Berserkers and
tournament.
Lizard Beasts, I believe.
I remember Snovgard.
Yeah.
Novgard, yeah, a Chaos team.
And Lizard Beats.
Lizard Beasts is the team I'm up against.
Yeah, the Lizard Beasts are looking rather.
They're
They're
not
next-
having a fun time.
Yeah, their next game has two Saurus out. One a block Saurus, one untrained.
2 miss next game, Saurus for them.
Yeah.
But he does have a Crocs.
He does.
Yeah, he does. Stand firm. Guard.
Is this the team that had that was the Lizardmen team? Is there any other Lizardmen team on this division? There was one
I think
Lizardmen
he was
team
the
that
one who started with real low rerolls.
yeah, hardly any rerolls. Yeah, he's definitely pulled his team back together. So that's good to see.
Because he was a new player when he joined.
Yeah, he said he wasn't quite sure what he was doing, but and took a fairly
It's
non-standard, not ideal build, but he's made up for it. He's got all the the rerolls that he needs and the APO. And
it's a bit unfortunate
full
that he's
roster.
missing 2 Sauruses for our game, though. That's not necessarily something you want.
Well,
yeah, he's at
some lucky
1230.
position.
He's gonna get 12.
Uh,
He's gonna
he
be at
gets two-
1350 for
Yeah.
TV. What are you at?
So he'll get. I'm at 1700, so he'll get 350. I
So
think he
can
should
fill in with
Slibly.
Slibly. Yeah.
But he was talking in the thing earlier to some people, and I believe he's going to be going for the Stab Skink.
He could
The
take
stab
both.
skink
The scab
is
skink's not too expensive.
great.
Yeah, I took that against Lumi instead of a wizard, and it actually worked out pretty well for me.
I mean,
and they're both fairly cheap. He probably could take both.
I think isn't Slibley 250?
240, I think. And
He's fairly pricey. I mean, for what you get from him, he's fairly cheap. But
Yeah. But if he's getting 4 something and he has some in the bank
he's
to
getting
spend-
350.
Oh, yeah. So he probably can't take both.
Yeah.
Slibley is 250.
Yeah, I thought so.
What's the name of the stabbing one?
Oh,
Hemlock,
know
I
this.
believe,
Yeah, Hemlock. Yeah.
He is 170.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
he couldn't even dump bank for that, could he?
Oh, he has
Both of them.
60k.
Yeah, so he's
No.
like 10k short.
Yeah.
That's
I've probably, I don't know, going into it with only 4 Thoras, I would probably still take Slibley.
yeah. No, I think Slibley is the most optimal play. Not only because you get the extra thing on the line to help protect your Sauruses against my claw palm,
Yeah.
but you also get the extra 1-turn assistance with the grab.
Yeah.
And when you have the 4 agility skink, that's
Yeah.
really dangerous.
And the other advantage of Hemlock is that you get also, besides having a
You guys are
blodge, stab.
talking some pretty high level Blood Bowl skills for a new player.
Yeah, I mean
Fair.
so the 1 turn.
I'm not trying to bash him or anything.
No, I'm not saying that.
Yeah.
You're talking about one turning.
Yeah.
I've been playing this game for a year and a half, and I'm still crap at one turning.
Yeah, it takes a lot. It takes a lot of practice. So yeah, the
One of the
grab may
things
not
I've
be
learned
useful for that. But do you have any sidestep on your team?
I do not believe so. No.
Ah, well, yeah. The other thing is sort of nice for is just canceling sidestep. So Hemlock is great for having an extra blodge skink with stab.
Yeah.
But part of that is the extra skink, and he's going to be going in with 6 skinks, with 2 of them already with
How
loner.
much is a fresh Saurus?
80.
80k?
Yeah.
Worst case scenario, instead of Sibley, he could buy 2 mercs.
Could
Well,
he?
no, well, it's
Those
it's
things
30k
down.
on top of the regular price to get them.
Yeah,
so
that's
they're
110.
110. Yeah,
So that's 220. That's still less price than Sibley.
that is true.
That wouldn't be a terrible idea. The only issue there is you get loner.
The loner, yeah, for a piece that's
And
likely to be blocking and has no
Well-
skills to start with.
Kiwi Bird, you've been playing the whole season with no re-rolls. What difference is it going to make if your guy has loner?
Yeah, there's a lot of ways
I
to
wish
look
him
at
luck in the match.
Yeah,
I feel bad because he is missing 2 Saurus.
yeah,
Well, he can replace them pretty easily with his inducements if he wants to, and still have Hemlock. Then he has 3 people.
Could you get
He's got all the same
130?
strength that he would have had. Plus, he can stab your rat people.
Would be what, 390 to get to Merc
Yeah,
and
but-
Hemlock.
You're assuming I care about my rats' lives.
I'm just throwing it out there.
And Hemlock still has to. You still have to either like
Blitz
yeah, he has
or
to either
be
be left in contact.
With the
or-
Blodge step
or-
Hemlock?
He doesn't
It
have
depends. Like if,
he
you,
already
if
has
you're
that
trying to
sidestep.
stay in
Yeah.
contact with my gutter runners, I'm just gonna leave.
Yeah. Yeah, so
Not
it's nice when you get the opportunity to take those
a little harder.
to take those stabs. It's nice to get if you get the opportunity. I definitely got a few opportunities to use stab against Lumi, and that did help. I think I took out a couple of line rats, but they're not going to leave anything in contact with a stab piece that's actually worthwhile. You're probably not going to get to stab a gutter runner with Hemlock, but you might.
Unless you blitz him.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, but in which case
the
it's a
only thing
waste
about-
of a. You shouldn't. Yeah, it's
Why?
because the stab's still only going to work 42% of the time.
40% of the time? Against armor value 7, 42% of the time?
Yeah, it's a waste of a blitz considering you could get a knockdown, in which case you might be.
Okay, your gutter runners have block and dodge. He has very
He has
little
no
block
tackle,
and
yeah.
no tackle.
That's
He's got a
actually-
better chance to
it's true.
stab you than he does to get the 1 die.
That. Well, you even give it.
And on top
Dude,
of that,
it seems-
he's okay. So he's got the strength 4 guy. He's gonna go with a strength 4 Saurus? No, because he's gonna have cages. That guy's not dodging in there.
Oh no,
if he
nobody's getting
does,
to my strength 4 guy.
Well,
I'm just
actually, that's the point. He could cage dive with because Hemlock is stunty, so he can cage dive into
that's true.
Right.
into a cage on a 3+ with a reroll, and then get a 40% chance of.
I'm just
stabbing.
saying, I would do Hemlock all day, every day. The only thing that would make it better is if you could get 2 of him.
I think the only danger with that as well is that you are then risking your Sauruses. Because the fewer Sauruses you have, I can just block them.
And you just picked up
Yeah,
Claw Palm.
I got Claw Palm, so they're
Well,
all.
I mean, let's be realistic. This guy's got an uphill battle no matter what strategy you talk about.
Even if he beats me, that sounds really condescending. I'm sorry. If he beats me, he's got to deal with who are they? The Handsome Jacks,
Oh, jeez.
which I'm
The
not
Jacks get a bye week?
particularly looking forward to.
Yeah.
He's a better coach than I.
Yeah, we
You
had a
have
really intense
you
match
have
when I played
speed
in. I think we ended up 0-0.
and skills.
So who was the other? There was also Snovgard is also playing someone in the
Yeah.
postseason. Let's take a look.
Snovgard is playing
Where is Snovgard?
Tadpoles in the Big City.
Right.
That's a fun-looking Chaos team.
It's doing okay. It's
They
not.
picked up a bit more development the last time I looked at them. I think.
It's chaos. They're ramping up. They're not quite there yet, but they're
Lodge,
getting there.
he's got a Chaos Warrior who thinks he's an elf.
He's got another Chaos Warrior who thinks he's not an elf.
He's got a ball-handling Beastman.
Yep.
Who can throw an intercept if need be.
Claw on a Beastman. I never liked seeing Claw before Mighty Blow.
I think it depends on the division you're in as well.
Yeah, it depends on the meta. If there's a lot of armor
It's
9,
just-
then
Yeah. An unfortunate amount of armor 9, you might go. I'll take a little bit of claw.
yeah.
It's a lot of guard, I think.
He's got a bit of guard, but guard
Do
does
Beastmen have
again
access
help.
to strength?
Yeah, they've got
Yes.
strength, normal, and
okay.
mutation access on normals.
They're
the whole team
really
does,
good for
except
60k.
Yeah.
They're a really solid piece for 60k.
Well, that's why I was saying that Jasper. I think Jasper was right. The Wood Elves want to go up against the Chaos team or not against the Chaos team, because they can outrun the Orcs. They can't really outrun the Chaos team. You have 4 Blitzers on Orcs that have movement. What? 7?
6.
Something like that.
6.
6.
Every Beastman is faster than the Blitzers, you know, or as fast as the Blitzers.
Yeah.
How many's he got? 8. Yeah, I'd rather face 4 strong Orc Blitzers, 2 on the left side, 2 on the right side.
I think
Then
one
I
of those
would-
blitzers is missed next game too. So.
Okay. Then
That's
6 or
only
8
3, yeah.
Beastmen that any one of them can hit you and get bonus because horns.
Vindication.
No, I was agreeing with you. It's just
Yeah.
I would rather take my luck with trying to outrun the Orcs and score 3 points and then, hope nobody dies afterwards.
Yeah.
But this
So
guy, I think he's going to do well. I mean, his team is Healthy. Everybody's got a skill except one
They're all
Beastman.
there.
That's what I'm saying. They're all healthy.
He's up
Who's
against.
he-
Who is he up against from the other? Oh, the Lizards, right?
Tadpoles in the Big City.
Yeah. So the
So
lack
his
of
claw is going to do work.
Claw could do some work. The lack of tackle might be a problem. But yeah, this will be an interesting matchup. I don't know that I.
2 Beastmen get
Tadpoles-
3 dice on a ball carrying skink.
Tadpoles do have some really nice looking Sauruses, though.
Yeah, they're fairly well developed. Do they have much
2
guard?
block pretty-
And a Chaos Warrior and a Beastman get 3 dice on a ball carrying skink.
Yeah, if you got strength 4, you just need one assist to get
And
3
then,
dice.
as I'm saying, and 1 blitzing Beastman plus a friend, 3 dice.
Yeah.
So this guy, if the Lizardmen don't stay in cages, he's getting 3 dice all day.
That claw might wind up helping him quite a bit in his next match.
Because he's got 2 claw out of 12 players.
The Minotaur, depending on if he behaves, might also be quite nice in that match.
Yeah.
So he's got a bench. He can start throwing
but
some
there's a-
fouls if need.
tadpoles have a block figure, right? They block on their cards.
Yes, I believe so.
Yeah.
I'll just go.
So that could backfire.
What's the name of the Minotaur on Snovgard?
Blitz.
Oh yeah, I don't think he's going to be on the line.
Are you sure?
I'm
You can
fairly
blitz
sure.
from the line.
I built my Minotaur with to blitz and pile on. I think he's funny.
He does have a block score.
Yeah. How much
Not
guard?
quite as much guard as the only one guard on the one of the Sauruses.
I think this will be a very close team
That'll
game.
be a close matchup, definitely.
I think Snovgard's seeding of 27
They do
betrays
have
his
very
abilities.
They do have very similar TV. I think the other guys are like 15-20 or something like that. It's very close.
Yeah, I think he's a lot more equal than his seeding says.
Yeah, well, yeah, it's with a first. I don't think anyone in Div 6 took any spin matches, so.
No, there wasn't very many spin matches even in the in Div 4 and Div 5.
Yeah, so yeah, that's just a season of development basically for Snovgard. So yeah, the record may not be indicative of what the team's capable of now.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
I, for one, look forward to seeing what you can do, Kiwi Bird, and Snovgard is Iron Master. I think I played him in the Lineman League. He's a pretty sharp cookie.
Oh, that sounds really painful.
Only if you
Just
eat it.
level 3 in BB2, but that doesn't necessarily mean anything if you've got experience in
Well,
tabletop or fumble or
you only
Google.
get experience in the official leagues.
Oh, in the Cole, yeah.
AI. So
Yeah.
he could just be playing.
Just multiplayer. It's not even bothering with the just other leagues, and not bothering with the official leagues or the AI. Yeah, so let's take a look and just see were there any crazy upsets in the last 2 weeks.
Snovgard won 2-0 against the Arlen Kings, unless that was
Arlen
the...
Kings is a dropout.
Yep.
Oathblow
my mouth-
won against the Berserkers. That Berserkers
That
were one
was
of
the
top
upset.
teams.
That
Yeah.
was
21. Besides taking 21 armor breaks.
No, actually, Oathblow's not. That wasn't an upset. He's 8-2-3.
Well, Berserkers was one of the top, one of the teams still in contention in the top 3, though.
Right. I'm saying though is they
I
were all in
think-
the top 6.
Yeah, I think that was their only loss for the season. They were undefeated up until that point.
Right. Right.
So
not bad.
yeah.
Well, I'm just saying it wasn't an upset. I mean, it might have been a tough fight, but I don't think it was enough. How are you gonna have an upset when both of them ended the season with 8 wins?
Yeah, I mean Oathblow wasn't. It's not like Oathblow was on the bottom of the table, but
Right.
but I think Berserkers
Might-
probably,
might have
usually when
been
you
at
go
one time.
AV7 against AV9, the two bash teams,
Yeah.
the one with the higher armor,
Looks
is
like
likely
he,
to take
he
it.
made a couple of passes as well. 4
Yeah,
passes.
4 passes for the
4 successful
for the
catches.
Norse. And an intercept.
Yep.
Let's see.
Very sure-handed Norse there.
Yeah.
Everybody wants to sleep on this passing.
And Oathblow took 7 KOs and 4 Cavs,
Oh,
versus like only 1
Who's
and
that?
1 for the
this
dwarves.
is the
and still
guy
made
with
it
the
2-1.
2 throwing Norse pass.
Oh, okay, let's take a look. Yeah, he's got the 2 throwers,
Remember?
right?
From
Because he had one with accurate and then one with leader. Then his leader leveled up. He got accurate. I like what he's done with the other
Yep.
one. That guy has mighty blow. Because screw it,
Yeah,
I'm done.
Who needs strong arm? Fuck it.
no, he's gonna rip off a head and throw it.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Like if I put the guy in the hospital, we could just pick the ball up on our next turn.
Look, he very accurately hurts the other player.
Yeah.
Oh, if that only was a thing.
Precision strike.
I hate Yetis. His must be all right. It hasn't died. Doesn't look like it's done a lot though. 13. It's been in all 13 matches.
Yeah.
No MVP.
The Yeti's
Just 2 cast.
usually an argued piece because a lot of people feel it's necessary for the Armor 9 players.
I think it's overpriced. My main issue with it is for 140k, if it had one more armor, or one more agility, or had something like
movement.
or like regen maybe. But for what it is, an armor
It does have
armor
disturbing
8.
presence, which is a bit interesting.
Disturbing
tell you what,
presence, yeah.
If he had access to mutation, maybe then he'd be worth it.
I mean, he starts with Claw. I mean, that's what you want to take on him anyway.
I think the only other mutation you might want to take on him is Tentacle.
The one with the tail, so the people can't dodge away, or tentacles.
Tentacles, yeah.
Both is probably better. I mean, prehensile tail is when I'm playing one of my rat teams. If I don't get horns, prehensile tail is the second mutation I get, because next to the red ogre, you're dodging through so much, it's not gonna happen.
Yeah.
But he's got a lot of tackle. I love it.
He does have a lot of tackle. How heavy was the agility in this league?
I think it was pretty good. I could be wrong.
2?
There was one of each elf.
Wood elf, high elf, dark elf,
And the
lizard
dark
man.
elf. But the
3,
dark elf player, he dropped out early.
Oh, the high elf.
Yeah, that's unfortunate.
Yeah, the high elf.
I thought the Arling Kings dropped out.
I thought the dark elf dropped out Pikey Park.
No, Pikey Park
No?
is the one who killed, who messed up the wooden stand-in the last week.
Good on him.
Yeah.
Key Parker's in, Arlen Kings is out.
Arlen Kings, and they dropped out fairly late in the season too. I was sort of surprised when I realized they were gone. But yeah, I mean the tech also helps against the lizard men. Also depends on if there's been a lot of. I think Brothers had a couple of goblins and a blotch.
Oh, I've got a message kill saber here.
A couple of blotch pieces.
I gotta do some trading with that young fella.
Which one?
Kill Saber, the coach of Pikey Park. He's playing the Dark Elves. He
Trying
could
to
use.
trade away your Dark Elves.
I'm about to say he could use a blitzer with Mighty Blow, and I could use a blitzer with movement or dodge and tackle.
Don't like your Mighty Blow?
Nope. I had 450k worth of blitzers and like 2 or 3 blitzers. Never get any casualties. So I'm like, screw it. I'm gonna sell them off, use all the money, and rebuild the team and start over. And that's why I have 14 people on my team now.
But you won your first match in the
But I won my
off-season
first
poll.
match.
Well done.
So we should,
Thank you.
I think, wrap up and play out the final death montage, the in memoriam, to see everyone who gave their all on the pitch in the last week. Unless anyone else has got anything to add for Div 6.
It has been a wild season all around.
Something to add. Thank you to Crumsley for making my next match much easier.
Which
What happened?
He's the one that missed next game to Taurus's.
against the
Yep, Kiwi birds, Sauruses.
Unfortunately, yes.
I'd just like to say, Division 4, 5, and 6. Your top 4 players all had 10 or more wins. Then the next 2 were like 9s. You guys, I mean, these were strong victories. Almost everybody in every division had at least, 1 win. There were some undefeated people. That's crazy.
Yeah.
I'm in Division 2 and I got my rear stomped.
well, there's also in the lower divisions there's a lot of sort of people who are still learning the game, so the competition when you do get the coach who's been playing for a while,
Yeah, I'm
they
certainly
can kind of
not.
run away with it a little bit easier than they can in say a top division where everyone's experienced coaches with developed teams. So
Well, I think it'll be interesting to see what happens to many of you players in the next season should you stick around, because you're going to get shuffled up the ladder.
I'm actually not shuffling up. I'm moving to the Big O.
Yeah, you are. I think that's a neat thing as well.
that's just a play
It's-
in that different.
Get your scheduling to match theirs, and then guest star in the Big O.
Yeah, we've got. I mean, we've got the other like Liam in Div 1 of the REL was doing the opposite thing. He's out in uh, Australia, New Zealand, but he found he was easier for him to play in
Yeah.
sort of North American time zones. So yeah, I got
I
a couple
totally
players who do that.
understand.
I've considered going to the G-Man because everybody keeps saying, hey, your style of playing is more like a G-Man style with the passing and the running and not the murdering.
Yeah, but you'd have to be available to play it in the middle of the afternoon.
Weekends.
Yeah, but that sort of defeats the I mean, the sort of point of splitting up the conferences by time zone is so that people can
I'm
play
moving
during the
over
week and the
because
evenings.
it's prime time for me is, or at least North American prime time for me is when I'm at work. It makes it really awkward, especially when I'm going to bed at 6 a.m. normally, and I'm just awake during Australian prime time.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, if you're just restricting to the weekends, then we might as well just have everyone mixed together. So yeah, if your normal weekday schedule just puts you in a weird time slot, that's when it makes sense to play in a different conference. But
well, I work between noon and 8 p.m., so a lot of my opponents are on the West Coast, and I had to stay up till midnight to play with them.
Yeah, but that's more doable than trying to play in the middle of a workday where you literally can't do it.
Or early in the morning.
Yeah. But yeah, so let's take a look at the montage, the in memoriam for the final one. I think at some point after this goes up, I'm going to string together a YouTube playlist of just a super cut so we can see all 13 weeks, everyone who died in Div 4 to 6 in one long, probably like hour-long bloodfest. But that'll be up soon, so that'll be fun to watch, or just flip.
It's a drinking game. Every time you see a Skaven die, take a shot.
Yeah.
No, why?
That's also a recipe for alcohol poisoning, but yeah. Sure. Why not? All right, so let's see. I'm gonna get this playing in a second. And we are back. So that was the last bloody week. I put a little extra in there just to show the stat buffs wouldn't stand it. Just took a real beating there. They used the APO trying to save the agility bust on that movement runner. Rolled, I think, the exact same thing twice in a row with the APO, and then just failed leap into a movement bust, and then a fouled to death tree. And then earlier in the montage there was that Nurgle versus Norse match where the Norse were just taking casualty after casualty, and then took out a pretty scary looking Strength 4 Pestigore, and know who failed its regen roll. So yeah, real bloody week. A lot of major pieces you don't. It wasn't one of those weeks where it's a bunch of linemen. We also lost somebody lost a Black Orc this week. So yeah, everyone's going hard on the final week. No one's taking it easy. A lot of bloodshed. But yeah, so that's going to be it. I'm going to have this up pretty soon, and then shortly after that, I'll put together a playlist with all of the death montages, so we can see the whole season and all of its bloody death-ridden glory in one place. But yeah, thank you so much, Ledeas, for being my co-host this season, and to Hervis and James for joining us again. Thank you guys very much
for having me.
It's been a pleasure.
Yeah. And I may do some casting or maybe check in on the playoffs as they go on. I'm not sure how that's going to work, but I think this is going to be a wrap for the season proper, because it's over. So thank you all very much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed these videos, and I will see you all on the pitch.